Hey y'all, Ramdino here. Well, once again, this Appalachian Trail update, there's a ton, a slew of information out there. We got a lot of news for you as more and more folks get on trail, more and more news is generated. We got some folks that have gotten off trail. I got a few more intros, although these are probably the last week or so of intros because everybody's getting back out there on trail, right? And we've got, of course, hiker reports from the hikers themselves. Let's go ahead and jump right on it. So we got the Jones family. Love to see families out there get out there on the trail and bring their kids and stuff with them and bring them up right, correct? And so this is from the Jones family intro, which they are actually already on trail.
Hey Ramdino, it's the Jones family, just checking in. Just gonna let you know that we're leaving tomorrow on our Appalachian Trail through hike attempt. Starting at Amicalola Falls Friday, March 13th.
See everybody out there.
I'm not doing that!
Looking forward to keeping y'all followed. Please keep us updated, Jones family. And then we got Double D. He's giving us his intro.
Hello, Ramdino. This is Double D. I'm just giving you a pre-hike update. I got everything I need to start my hike with, and I'm scheduled to start on Saturday the 14th. Hopefully everything will go all right, and I'll be able to make it through my entire hike.
Hikers that are sending in their reports, we got them coming in so fast I can't hardly get them out. We got Taser. She's a Woods Hole Weekend alumni. She's in her update.
Hey Ramdino, Taser here. I am back on trail. Been on for about a week now. I'm now in North Carolina. Not too far in, but enjoying the beautiful weather while it lasts.
Congratulations, Taser, for making that first state into North Carolina, and welcome to North Carolina. And then we got Joe and Aaron. They're checking in for us.
Hey Ramdino, Joe and Aaron sending in an update. Treadway's been great. The people have been great. We're doing a slack pack today from Blue Ridge Gap back to Dix Creek Gap, staying at Stanables. Stanables Hostel's been great. The people there are great, and having a good time out here.
The terrain's been pretty rough, and we only have 3 more miles when we finish today to get into North Carolina, so that will be motivating. Anyway, it really helped to recharge at the hostel.
Take care. Thank you.
Happy trails.
And Kristen from Hiking on a Prayer, she has made it to the knot. Congratulations. Take it away, Kristen.
Hey Ramdino, it's Kristen from Hiking on a Prayer, and I am checking in at the NOC. A little more difficult hike coming in from North Carolina, and this is my friend Uncle Joe joining. And but we made it. We had a few overs and unders, but all were manageable, and we are doing great. We're taking a little bit of a break before and trying to figure out what we're gonna do as we get ready to head into the Smoky Mountains, because we hear there's another cold front coming on. But we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna head on into the Smokies soon. Not sure that I'll be able to check in next week, but if not, we'll check in after that. So thank you again for all that you do, Ramdino. Take care and God bless.
Big T, he has made it to Irwin, sends in this update.
Hey Ramdino, it's Big T on the AT-26. Made it to Uncle Johnny's in Irwin. It's a rainy day today, but I've gotten to do some slack packing and hiking around Uncle Johnny's in Irwin here. The trails are in good shape. They've cleared all the trees. It's in really good shape. It's been a good couple of days of hiking in this area. I'm getting ready to head to the Roans next. Catch you later.
Love the Roans. Can't wait to see how things work out for you going through the Roans. And then we've got Rick. So Rick has made it past Match Pack. He sent in this picture of the prescribed burn that they had up there. So that's over and done with. Looks like they burned the field. Kind of surprised at that. I figured they would be concentrating more in the woods where all the trees came down, and we've got so much stuff that came from those trees, the tops of the trees that have been cut out and everything. So figured they'd be concentrating on that. But hey, what the heck? What do I know? I am not a National Forest Service personnel. But thanks a lot for doing the jobs that you do out there. Rick, he should be in Hot Springs by now. Kendall and Shelby, they check in from somewhere around near Trey Mountain.
Hi Ramdino, it's Kendall and Shelby here. Sorry we haven't checked in earlier. We got off to a little bit of a cold and slow start, but we just walked up here to Train Mountain Gap, and Huckleberry's Hostel and Boots Off Hostel are doing trail magic here. They've been here for, I think, a couple days, and they have some tents set up. They made us some burgers, and it's just been wonderful. So just checking in. Bye.
Tie-dye and Goat, they have made it past the quarterway. That is huge. Congratulations on them. They sent in this update.
Hey Ramdino, this is Ash.
And Tie-dye Goat. Looks like we've made it a quarter of the way. Today is Friday, March 13th. Lucky Friday the 13th. Ash and I had taken a couple zeros. We're back on trail. Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 days we'll hit our 600-mile mark. We'll update you then. Take care.
They also indicated they had a week of pretty severe weather. We'll talk about the weather coming up here in just a minute. And we got Pack Mule and Bookworm. They check in.
Hey, Ramdino.
Hey, Ramdino. Just giving you an update. Scott and Ray.
Or Bookworm and Pack Mule.
Trail names, Bookworm and Pack Mule. And we are on top of Big Bald all by ourselves. It's a wonderful day, nice breeze. We were going to take a zero today, but decided to do the hike today because tomorrow it was going to be a lot worse. So,
like 40-mile-an-hour winds tomorrow. So we're really excited about the views today. So beautiful weather.
Have good hiking, everyone. On we go.
Mousetrap, she has made it to Tray Mountain.
Hey Ramdino, this is Mousetrap. I'm just checking in. I had a fall, or actually 2 falls, coming down over Blood Mountain, so I took a zero at Neal Gap. It was a nice foggy day to watch all the motorcycles and loud cars come in through the parking lot there on the tail of the dragon. So nice day to have a zero, you know. I am currently on top of Tray Mountain, and it is super cold and windy. So it's going to get down below freezing tonight, and I'm trying to stay warm. See you next week.
Looking Glass and her family, they have made it to the 300-mile mark. They got fed by fresh ground, so they may still be there. Fresh ground can be a vortex. The Leapfrog Cafe can be a vortex somehow, sometimes. But they're already out of there. They did mention that they went followed the AT specifically for the Fire Scald bypass, or I'm sorry, the Fire Scald, but they recommend the bypass, the bad weather bypass around that because it can be very icy. And they said it was pretty sketchy going through there with the ice and snow. I've been through there myself, and it's really rocky, and there's some places if it's covered over in snow that you can stick a leg down in and break that thing slam off. Because you don't know what you're stepping down in between rocks and cracks. So, might be a good idea if you're coming through there and it's ice and snow to take that bypass. And Elvis, he has made it to a huge milestone.
Hey, Ramdino, Elvis here. Just want to let you know, we made it to mile 100. Let's go!
New to the channel this week is Deadpool and Flat Tire. They are in the Smokies and send in their update.
Howdy, y'all. Deadpool and Flat Tire coming to you from Klingman's Dome in the Smokies. It's been below freezing almost all day long. Got some high winds, but we're having a great time and a great hike. It's beautiful out here. There's a nor'easter heading our way. It's about to hit the Smokies, so we're trying to get off the mountain. Most of the roads are closed, but we've got a small window of opportunity to get to Newfound, to get to town. So we're going to try and hike on, catch the ride, and get warm. Hope y'all are having a great hike out there and enjoying yourselves. But with the weather, be safe. And if you want to follow us along for more AT adventures, check out Flat Tire Adventure on YouTube. That's Flat Tire Adventure on YouTube. Catch y'all later.
Prepper and Subman, they've been reporting in the whole time, and they always send in some awesome videos. Here they are right before they got into Damascus.
Hey, Subman, what state are you in?
I'm in Virginia. What state are you in, Prepper?
I'm in Tennessee.
You better get your ass over here in Virginia.
No, I'm in Virginia.
About time. Took you long enough.
We are 3 miles from Damascus.
10 more states to go.
Appalachian Trail 2.0, baby.
So if you notice there, I think Subman needed some electrolytes. He's having a little brain fog because they've actually got 11 more states to go. But here he corrected himself when they got into Damascus.
Hello, Ramdino.
Hey, Rambino.
Got the subster over there. Got a little sun today.
Yeah, that suntan lotion's not working, is it?
14 miles by noon today. Of course, we started early. We are officially in Damascus. How many states we got left total, Submit?
11.
11, not 10.
Yeah, I messed up earlier.
Here we go. We're going through town.
Yeehaw.
Appalachian Trail 2.0. Let's go, baby.
And of course, they're on beyond Damascus. They've made it to the 500-mile mark. Huge again. Congratulations to them. Go ahead and send us this update, y'all.
Good morning, Ramdino, from the Appalachian Trail, mile 500. Yeehaw!
Hey. So, man, going to Maine.
Blackbeard going for 5 days. All the way up here from Joplin, Missouri.
1,200 miles
Yeah.
just to hike with his buddies and do a good section here. What do you do in the real world there, Blackbeard?
Teach high schoolers about the outdoors, teach ecology.
That's awesome. We are so glad he drove up here. 1,200 miles, got here yesterday, first day on the trail. He's done all of Georgia and a part of North Carolina. So he's up here just recovering on his spring break, getting some good old outdoors. Appalachian Trail 2.0, let's go, baby!
So this is the time of year when we start having folks that get off trail. They get on trail first and they have an injury or it ain't for them or sickness or something goes wrong. And that is the case with Mighty Blue. So Mighty Blue has thru-hiked before, maybe a couple times. And of course he has a podcast that he does, the Mighty Blue podcast. So you can go and check that out. But he got on trail, only lasted like an overnight, and he was being sick, and he feels like at this point maybe he brought it to the trail with him and just didn't realize it, but he had to get off trail, and he is back home now and waiting for a doctor's appointment. So Mighty Blue was one of the folks that also was up at Woods Hole weekend that I was serving as a mentor with. So great guy. And unfortunately, he is off trail. I'm not going to be able to do his thru hike this year unless he gets back on as a flip-flopper. Or maybe even Sobo, don't know. But anyway, wishing you the best, Mighty Blue. And Atticus, he is off trail, sends in his final update.
Hey, Ramdino, it's Atticus. As you can see, I'm not on trail. Unfortunately, I had to get off trail at Woody Gap. Had some family and personal issues to take care of. And now I'm working on those. My Nobo hike has since turned into a flip-flop, and I am planning end of April to fly to Harper's Ferry, get it on that flip-flop kickoff, and then head north from there.
So he did mention he may get back on as a flip-flopper. That is not unusual. People having to get off for whatever reasons, health, injuries, family matters, it happens, and then they get back on and complete their flip-flop. And you'd be amazed how many actually Nobo Pure or start out Nobo Pure actually become flip-floppers. But anyway, looking forward to him possibly getting back in or back on. Carrie Sue is off for good. She had some VA appointments that came to fruition, and you know, it's hard to get appointments with the VA, and when you get them, you got to go, and it's not going to give her enough time to finish. So she's decided she's going to hit the Camino in May. Of course, I'm hitting the Camino in May as well. Probably won't run into each other because I'm starting a few weeks in front of her. If we do, I've had some significant issues over there. But anyway, Carrie Sue, thanks for checking in. All you folks that checked in and let us know that you are getting off trail, thanks a lot for that. We care about you. The community cares about you, and we want to know when you get off trail because people, you know, they will just stop turning in their, posting to social media, and people get worried about that. I know that the fellow Drew Boyson, I believe his name, is a Sobo hiker that started early, and he has been going through some rough times, but he's been putting out some great videos. He doesn't report into me. I have not been following him. I have attempted to contact him, but have not heard back from him. But my understanding is he's no longer reporting. He's been reporting every day, but it's been like 3 or 4 days since he reported last. And people have been contacting me asking, hey, is he okay? What's going on? Where's he at? I don't know. He's not in touch with me, and he doesn't leave comments on his, or doesn't open up his YouTube to comments. So If you get off trail, please let us know. So the news we got going over, we are right in the middle of the bubble as far as people stepping off from Springer there. So from here on out, there'll be less and less people every day that are checking in at Springer and stepping off. And so we'll see how that goes as the bubble moves up the trail. We'll keep you posted on that. We did have more people, more max out days than what we had previously, so we were only up to like 2 or 3 before. Now we're up to 7 days when the trail is maxed out. Maxed out meaning more than 50 people starting on one day on the trail. And that's it's not unusual for the trail to get maxed out. That doesn't mean anything other than the ATC sets the carrying capacity at 50 hikers per day, 50 through hikers rather per day, and after that it gets to be an issue with finding shelter space and campsite space and stuff like that. Still get on trail, you can still register, you can still do your hike, but it may be a little crowded out there. So we've reached 7 for the year so far, and that certainly is not the most that we've ever seen before. We've been in the teens before, but in this case, looks like a typical year back in. So a lot of folks contacted me, and I've seen a lot of messages coming in about the individual that was found deceased up there on the AT at the very beginning, northern Georgia. I did have another hiker that reported in to me that they passed his tent going in, and it was thought it odd because it wasn't right on the trail and wasn't in a typical campsite. It was like a Walmart tent, kind of one of these tents that not very light. So this individual was not a backpacker or not a through hiker rather, and they did find him deceased by his own hands inside the tent. So he's a 23-year-old Julian Horton. He was from Missouri, and apparently he came here to do what he did. His family had reported him missing and reported the same issues that actually occurred to him. Might be a possibility. And so search and rescue went out to get him, and they did not get to him in time. So it's unfortunate. Again, he was not a through hiker. Don't even know if he was a regular hiker or not. But in any case, we always mourn the loss of anybody that comes to the AT and does something like that. They come to creation. They come out here in the wilderness to get away and do it, and we get that, but it's never a good thing. So our prayers go out to that family and what they're going through now. The ATC announced this week that they have new visitation data. So previously, what has been published each year and even on their site right now, and go there and look at it because they'll take it down as soon as I mention this today because they monitor the channel. And there's a lot of changes they make whenever they hear something coming from the channel. But they, as soon as the other day, like when I started prepping for this, their site said 3 million visitors to the ATC each year. Well, now they've come up with new visitation data, and it says that the AT gets 16.9 million people in 2025. So 3 million to 16.9 is a huge incongruency there. I don't know why that has happened. Their new method of collecting this data, oh, here comes Daisy coming in hot. Their new method of collecting that data is by basically cell phone data and using AI. Well, we know how accurate AI can be right now, right? So AI's got its good points and bad points, but I have found that it is not always 100% accurate, and I don't know why there's such a discrepancy between 3 million and 16.9. All right, dogs, just don't knock over the camera, okay? Don't know why there's such a discrepancy there, but they have got that new visitation data. One of the things I got to looking at is they note that it's something to do with, of course, wanting to be able to determine which areas of the trail need more treatment and which areas of the trail they need to get more people out there to take care of maintenance and everything on it. But it's also about money. It's always about money, right? And so they're trying to, I'm sure, see Can they get more appropriations from the federal government for it? It is a national scenic trail. It is part of the National Park Service, so can they get more funding for it? And then can they start getting more funding from other sources? Maybe you, the general public. Can they start charging permits? That'd be very difficult since there's so many points that they can get on and off the AT. But all of this is really, in my opinion, has to do about money. None of this, don't hear me being super critical or anything like that. I hope that if they do get more money, that they use it for something other than hiring more employees. They have a lot of employees, folks, and everything that's over here or over there, wherever I put it, is not the only people that are eating at the lunch table of the ATC. But this is a lot of folks here. And then, of course, the ATC is not the only folks that benefit financially from the AT as far as government entities out there that can pull in more money. I don't know about private entities that are not for profit. I'm sure there are some that would apply for grants if there's more money to get out there. But by and large, the ATC is the largest person of taking in money for the AT or as part of the AT. And so hopefully it's going to be spent to rebuild things like bridges that are washed out, like at Lick Creek, or the shelters that were damaged and some actually destroyed when Helene came through. Hopefully, if they do appropriate more money for that is going to be used for that as opposed to hiring more people. Jury's still out on that. We'll see. Speaking of shelters damaged out there, so Cherry Gap Shelter was pretty much wrecked and made unsafe by Helene coming through and dropping a tree right through the middle of it. So before this, you could actually get in it and maybe use it, but it wasn't safe. And so that has now been made safe. In other words, they have removed it. So the Tennessee Eastman's come in there and they've removed it, which it should have been removed, and they've taken that out. They've also cut back trees around the area to get more, camping area for people there when that part opens. But right now, that section is closed, so hikers shouldn't have been in there anyway. This is after where the trail is detours off for the Iron Mountain Gap detour. Of course, the Iron Mountain Gap is through this year. It was last year. We don't know when that's going to open back up. That's depending on the National Forest Service and when they decide that it can't be logged anymore. There's not a lot of logging going on in there. It's just really difficult to log trees that are horizontal rather than vertical. So don't know what's going on with that. Haven't had any sources. My sources for that, I don't know that they know, to be honest with you. But in any case, hopefully that's going to get solved sooner rather than later, and you won't have to use that Iron Mountain Gap detour. The actual trail going through there, the logs have been cut out of the way, and it's open, but you're just not supposed to be using that area through there. And then the National Forest Service there at Bailey Gap Shelter, which is at mile 661, that has been reopened. It had been closed due to bear activity around there. And so when they close that, and people stay away from it, and their food and their smell, particularly their food smells, aren't around it anymore, then that tends to, the bears go for other sources. So they feel like it's safe. They've opened that up. That is a shelter that is about 20 miles trail south of the Kiefer Oak in Virginia. So that's opened back up. And then Bill from Bryson City, he wanted to let everybody know that we got some really bad weather coming in, particularly for the Smokies. He's in Bryson City, and the Smokies, anything above 3,500 feet is going to be really dangerous for you over the next 2 to 3 days. So be careful out there, folks. Might want to consider hanging out in Fontana for a day or so, or shuttling around and coming back and picking that up. Prepper Hikes, they did that, and that worked out great for them. So be smart about getting into the Smokies. We don't want to get anybody up there and get hurt with hypothermia, or somebody get up there and have to be rescued, which puts the rescuers in danger as well. And then Whispers, our northern correspondent, he reports in for the first time this season. Of course, he's in New Hampshire and Vermont and really Maine as well, is where he kind of covers that area for us, what's going on up there. And we don't have any hikers up there right now, but we're getting ready to come into flip-flop season, and we might have some folks that are starting Sobo. Right now, you can't start Sobo from Katahdin, but you could start up there and work your way down and turn it into a flip-flop. But anyway, he wanted to let people know that the stream crossings that were frozen over are now turning into swollen creeks from all of the snow melt and just turning into a mess. He sent this picture of or this ford picture of a hiker fording through the ice. Icy water was off of Facebook. I think this is probably AI. I don't think any hiker would be dumb enough to try to ford through this stuff right here. That's a sure way to hypothermia and to die. So I don't know if that's what it is, but if you're in that area, just be careful up there. Know that if you're doing an out and back, if you cross over a stream at one time and it's frozen and then it warms up during the day, it could look like this on your way back out. And then a couple personal things. So as you know, I'll be heading to the Camino. I am pumped up about it. It's coming in less than a month now, less than 4 weeks. So that is going to be an awesome trip for me and my son, Chance Man. Of course, before that, I'm taking Trail Boss, and we're going to be in France anyway. So that's why we decided that might as well save the airfare and go on down and do the Camino. And so that's our plans out there. Anybody got any advice for some great albergues to stay in down there? Would love to hear advice or any other advice for the Camino. Folks, that's all I got this week. As always, appreciate you, and we hope to see you out here. Ain't that right, Daisy? Yes, ma'am, it sure is. You a good girl.